Imagine, for a moment, being a parent sitting helplessly by the bedside as your child endures relentless, unpredictable seizures. Each one a jarring reminder that medical science has not yet caught up with the rare disease threatening your family. These seizures are not mild. They are life-threatening, striking out of nowhere, sometimes lasting for minutes on end. For thousands upon thousands of families worldwide, this is not a distant nightmare. It is the daily reality of living with Dravet syndrome, one of the most severe and stubborn forms of childhood epilepsy ever identified. To understand the magnitude of this challenge, let us look back and set the scene. Dravet syndrome, first described in the late 1970s by French physician Dr. Charlotte Dravet, is not just another form of epilepsy. It is a catastrophic, treatment-resistant developmental and epileptic encephalopathy. The syndrome typically emerges in infancy, often before a child's first birthday. Imagine celebrating those early milestones, first smiles, first steps, only to have them overshadowed by frequent, prolonged, and dangerous convulsive seizures. These attacks can last for more than 30 minutes and are often unresponsive to standard medications. They strike with little warning, sometimes triggered by fever, flashing lights, or even something as innocent as a warm bath. The consequences are devastating. Hospital visits become routine, and basic childhood activities, playing in the park, swimming, even napping, can be fraught with danger. Many of these children experience significant developmental delays, missing or postponing crucial milestones like walking, talking, or learning to read. Emotional and behavioral difficulties, including symptoms that resemble autism spectrum disorder, compound the burden. For parents and siblings, the psychological toll is immense, as they live in constant fear of the next seizure or, more gravely, the looming possibility of sudden unexpected death in epilepsy, known as SUDEP. Shockingly, SUDEP claims the lives of as many as 15 to 20% of those affected by Dravet syndrome. In the United States, the United Kingdom, the four largest countries of the European Union, and Japan, experts estimate that up to 38,000 individuals are currently living with this daunting diagnosis. For decades, the treatment landscape has been bleak. Traditional anti-seizure medications, the backbone of epilepsy management, have provided, at best, only partial relief. As Dr. Andreas Brunklaus, a prominent pediatric neurologist at the Royal Hospital for Children in Glasgow, highlights, natural history data shows the limitations of treating this disease with anti-seizure medicines. Most therapies blunt the seizures but do not address the underlying cause. The real culprit, in over 80% of cases, is a mutation in a single gene, SCN1A. This mutation disrupts the sodium channels crucial for brain cell communication, creating an environment ripe for uncontrolled electrical storms. The seizures that define Dravet syndrome. For years, families and doctors have dreamed of a therapy that does more than suppress symptoms, a treatment that tackles the genetic roots. Today, that dream no longer seems out of reach. The world is watching with anticipation as a new therapy, zorevunersen, emerges from the innovative collaboration between Biogen and Stoke Therapeutics. Zorevunersen is not a typical drug. It is an antisense oligonucleotide, a precise strand of synthetic genetic material designed to target and correct the faulty SCN1A gene at the heart of Dravet syndrome. By restoring normal sodium channel function, zorevunersen aims to calm the brain's electrical storms, offering hope for a transformation rather than mere symptom suppression. Early clinical trial results are nothing short of extraordinary. In a subset of children treated with zorevunersen, researchers have observed an astonishing 87% reduction in convulsive seizure frequency after just 8 months of therapy. Families have described these changes as life-altering. Children who once suffered daily seizures have gone weeks, sometimes even months, without a single convulsion. But the impact goes beyond seizures. According to analyses presented at the European Pediatric Neurology Society Congress, improvements have also been seen in cognition and behavior, suggesting that zorevunersen might help children achieve milestones previously thought unattainable. Edward M. Kai, the CEO of Stoke Therapeutics, has stated unequivocally that zorevunersen, quote, could revolutionize Dravet syndrome treatment by addressing the genetic cause. Dr. Priya Singhal, representing Biogen, echoes this optimism, noting that the drug's effects extend beyond seizure reduction. It's not just about controlling seizures, she explains. We are seeing cognitive and behavioral improvements, giving families hope for futures they never dared imagine. For many, this marks the dawn of a new era, a shift from managing symptoms to fundamentally altering the course of a devastating disease. Momentum is gathering at an unprecedented pace. The United States Food and Drug Administration, has granted zorevunersen the coveted breakthrough therapy designation. This status, reserved for therapies showing substantial improvement over existing treatments, means the regulatory process could move swiftly if the data continues to impress. In a bold move, Biogen secured the rights to develop and commercialize zorevunersen, investing an upfront sum of $165 million, with the potential for hundreds of millions more in milestone payments if the therapy succeeds. The pivotal EMPEROR trial, a rigorous, large-scale Phase 3 clinical study, will soon begin, with results expected in the latter half of 2027. This trial will enroll hundreds of children across multiple continents, aiming to confirm the dramatic early results and to explore the therapy's long-term safety. But as with every medical breakthrough, there are reasons for caution. The journey from promising laboratory data to real-world impact is fraught with obstacles. Will zorevunersen's impressive early results hold up in a larger, more diverse patient population? Can its effects be sustained over years or even decades? And will unforeseen side effects, complications with drug delivery, or the development of resistance challenge its promise? Competition in this therapeutic race is fierce. Other biotech innovators are not standing still. Encoded therapeutics, for instance, is advancing ETX-101, a novel gene regulation therapy that also targets the underlying genetic mechanisms of Dravet syndrome. In preclinical models, therapies such as AAV-NAV-beta1 gene therapy have shown remarkable success, reducing seizures and extending lifespan in animal models of Dravet syndrome linked to SCN1B mutations. The field is evolving rapidly, with new approaches, from small molecules to gene editing, vying for the opportunity to reshape the lives of thousands of children. Yet, some experts urge a broader perspective. Dr. Kelly Knupp, a leading authority at the University of Colorado, emphasizes that families are searching for answers that go beyond seizure control. We need therapies that address the full spectrum of neurodevelopmental challenges, cognition, behavior, and quality of life. That is the real measure of success, she asserts. This is echoed by patient advocacy groups such as the Dravet Syndrome Foundation, which stresses the importance of comprehensive care, including early intervention, specialized education, and robust support networks. To truly grasp what is at stake, consider the broader context. If zorevunersen's potential is realized, it could become the first genetic therapy to successfully target the root cause of a severe developmental epileptic encephalopathy in humans. This would not only change the lives of those with Dravet syndrome, but could also set a precedent for tackling hundreds of other rare genetic disorders. Imagine a future where diseases like spinal muscular atrophy, Friedreich's ataxia, and certain forms of hereditary blindness are routinely managed at the genetic level. Stoke Therapeutics is already broadening its ambitions, developing STK-002 for autosomal dominant optic atrophy, leveraging the same proprietary Tango platform that powers zorevunersen. For the global medical and scientific community, the rise of gene-targeted therapies signals a true paradigm shift. Antisense oligonucleotides, gene editing, and precision diagnostics, once confined to science fiction or academic laboratories, are now moving into mainstream clinical practice. This transition is not only transforming patient care, but is also forcing a rethinking of the economic and ethical frameworks that underpin healthcare. Biogen's aggressive expansion into rare diseases, highlighted by multi-billion-dollar acquisitions such as the $7.3 billion purchase of Reata Pharmaceuticals and the $1.15 billion acquisition of HiBio, underscores the immense financial stakes. Precision medicine is fast becoming the new frontier for investors, pharmaceutical companies, and healthcare systems worldwide. However, every revolution brings new challenges. Long-term safety remains an open question. Will genetic therapies like zorevunersen remain effective and safe over many years? There is always a risk of resistance developing or of rare but serious side effects emerging as more patients are treated in the real world. History is replete with cautionary tales. The early days of gene therapy in the late 20th century were marked by great promise, but also by tragic setbacks. Initial enthusiasm for certain immunotherapies has sometimes been tempered by unexpected complications or disappointing results in larger trials. In the case of Dravet syndrome, the complexity of the disease magnifies these uncertainties. Children affected by Dravet syndrome face challenges that extend far beyond seizures, including intellectual disability, behavioral difficulties, and profound impacts on family dynamics. Can a single therapy, however sophisticated, truly address this full spectrum? Or will the future lie in combination approaches, integrating gene therapy with neuroprotective drugs, behavioral interventions, and educational support? The economic implications are equally profound. Treatments for rare diseases are notoriously expensive. Zorevunersen and its competitors could carry price tags in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars per patient. Healthcare systems around the world will be forced to grapple with questions of access and affordability. Will insurance providers cover these groundbreaking treatments? Or will families be left to bear the financial burden? Policymakers, regulators, and patient advocates must collaborate to ensure that scientific progress does not widen existing inequalities in healthcare access. From an investor's perspective, the rise of gene-targeted drugs is both an extraordinary opportunity and an immense risk. Biogen's upfront commitment of $165 million to zorevunersen, with the prospect of hundreds of millions more in milestone payments, is emblematic of the high stakes. The potential rewards are vast, ushering in a new era of genetics-driven medicine. But so are the risks. Failure could prompt a fundamental reassessment of the field, with billions of dollars and years of research hanging in the balance. For viewers of this channel, whether you are a physician, a biotech entrepreneur, a family member of someone with Dravet syndrome, or simply an engaged citizen, the lessons are clear. Innovation in medicine is accelerating at a breakneck pace. The boundaries between science fiction and medical reality are blurring. Staying informed, asking critical questions, and understanding the broader economic, social, and ethical context is more important than ever. So what does the future hold for Dravet syndrome and the broader field of rare genetic diseases? Much depends on the outcome of the EMPEROR trial. If the dramatic reductions in seizures and the cognitive gains seen in early studies are replicated in a larger, more diverse population, zorevunersen could become the world's first truly disease-modifying therapy for Dravet syndrome. This would not only transform the lives of thousands of families, but also set a powerful precedent for future therapies targeting other rare and devastating conditions. Yet, the risks and unknowns remain. Long-term data on safety and efficacy are still being collected. The potential for unforeseen side effects, resistance, or loss of efficacy cannot be ignored. The broader impacts on neurodevelopment, on learning, memory, and social interaction must be rigorously evaluated, not just in clinical trials, but in the real-world experiences of patients and families. Regulators are watching closely. The United States Food and Drug Administration's rapid decision to grant breakthrough therapy designation to zorevunersen, based on only a handful of months of data, underscores the extraordinary potential and the extraordinary scrutiny that surrounds this therapy. If the results hold, approval could come sooner than expected, but regulators will also require robust, ongoing monitoring to ensure patient safety and to identify any emerging risks. For families living with Dravet syndrome, the coming years could bring a wave of hope that would have seemed unimaginable just a decade ago. Picture a future in which children with Dravet syndrome are not just surviving, but thriving, attending school, making friends, participating in sports, and achieving milestones that once seemed out of reach. Imagine a world where a diagnosis of a rare genetic disease is no longer a life sentence, but the beginning of a personalized medical journey with real prospects for improvement. The broader implications extend far beyond Dravet syndrome. The rise of gene-targeted therapies demonstrates how disruption in medicine can mirror technological revolutions in other industries. Consider the way that mobile technology redefined communication, or how renewable energy is reshaping the global economy. In medicine, the next wave of innovation may not come from a single blockbuster drug, but from a portfolio of precision therapies tailored to the unique genetic makeup of each patient. For clinicians, investors, and policymakers, the imperative is clear: stay agile, embrace change, and be ready to act decisively as new evidence emerges. As the EMPEROR trial prepares to launch, all eyes are on zorevunersen. Will it finally break the curse of Dravet syndrome? Will it set a new standard for the treatment of rare genetic diseases? Or will it serve as a sobering reminder that scientific progress is never linear, that every breakthrough brings new questions and new challenges? As you reflect on this story, consider the broader lessons. The next medical revolution may already be underway. Will you recognize it when it arrives? Will you have the insight to see its implications, not only for medicine, but also for technology, economics, and society as a whole? If you want to follow this story as it unfolds, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe gene-targeted therapies like zorevunersen will change the future of childhood diseases? Or are there hidden risks that we should all be watching?